Hi guys, my name is Sarthak and today we will cover everything about version control system and we'll also look at why it is so popular that almost every professional grade project integrates it. So let's get started. We all remember our first Hello World program. Exciting it was, wasn't it? Now imagine you kept feeding your excitement to a day where you started building up your first website project. And while you were at it, you realize some unexpected problems have started to come across. Like every time you add a new feature, you fear if it may crash your previous working code. You have to maintain duplicate copies of your latest project, so in case of any trouble, you don't have to start from scratch. Now, once you notice, these problems have nothing to do with your coding language or the framework you may have been practicing. These are simply related to the code management. And as the project gets big or employs multiple developers, not only will it be cumbersome to manage but also error prone. Thankfully, we have version control. Now, before we see how it tackles the above problem, let's first understand what actually is version control. Version control is a mechanism that has an ability to keep track and store all the changes ever made to your project over a period of time. Here, any new changes, when saved or committed, which we will learn later in the course, are treated and stored as a separate version. So instead of you manually maintaining the changes in your code, you let VCS do it all for you in much more efficient way. Let's imagine a scenario where you accidentally deleted a file or an essential piece of information and now it's gone, or a case where your project gets corrupted due to some unknown reason. Then VCS can help you revert back to any of the previous version as it maintains the complete backup of all changes till date. Thereafter, suppose you encounter some unexpected behavior in the middle of the project and now it's really hard to predict which code or a specific file might have produced it. Then version control can help you navigate through the entire history of changes in the project, which will not only be helpful in tracking down what change brought what bug, but also in understanding the flow and the enhancements the project has gone through with time. Now suppose you want other developers to contribute to your project. Then version control will help you do that in the most nicest way, wherein you can work on multiple or even same file without interrupting others' work. It also provides the details like what contribution is made by what developer in what file. Now you may wish to try out a new feature in your project, but at the same time you don't want the current flow of the project to be disturbed. No issues. As with version control, you can separate out a code from your current project, work upon it until you are sure to combine it with the main project or dispose it right away in case you are not, without ever touching the main project. The day-to-day use case benefits of version control are much more than I could cover in this video, but I am sure this pretty much gave you an idea of its importance. So let's just quickly cover the two types of version control system present in the market. First is centralized version control. Here the entire changes of your code are situated on a single central server. Whenever anybody from the team saves the latest changes, it directly gets saved and reflected onto the server. Subversion and Perforce are two of its examples. Though this approach seems reasonable, it has two major downsides. Since it is not locally available, there is a dependency on the network connection to perform any action. Secondly, no matter how robust, there is still a risk of losing all the data in case of a server crash. Another is distributed version control. Here, you or your team members each has the local copy of entire changes on your system, which means you can make whatever changes you desire and save it on your system locally without ever affecting the remote files. In order for the changes to be reflected in the remote files, the change first needs to be pushed out to the server. Git and Mercurial are two of its examples. This gives us three benefits over central version control. The changes here are present locally until one is sure to push them. In a typical case of server crash, the changes can be recovered from individual's own system or any team members, as every member will be having the copy of the same. Now at last, since it requires no network dependency for local change, it makes it comparatively faster. Now let's conclude this video by having a look at the most popular version control systems available in the market today. So as per 2018 Stack Overflow report, Git clearly dominates the version control industry. So much and so forth that no more surveys have been conducted after 2018, as Git is accepted as a leader, which is not gonna change anytime sooner. Hence, it makes an easy decision to learn and master Git as a student or a professional, and equally for me to help you achieve the same with our channel through this Git tutorial series. So that's it for this video, guys. Hope you learned something new today. I'll see you in the next one.